My wife's sister had a genius plan. Convince my wife to fake a divorce, just to scare me into becoming a better husband. They expected me to beg. Instead, I hired a lawyer before they could finish their little game. It started on a Tuesday night. My wife sat across from me with a completely straight face. She said, "I don't think this marriage is working anymore. I want a divorce." I felt like the ground disappeared beneath me. I asked if I'd done something wrong. She simply said, "I've made up my mind." No yelling, no big argument, just cold silence. The next morning, she packed a suitcase and moved in with her sister. For days, I couldn't eat or sleep. I blamed myself. Maybe I had worked too much. Maybe I wasn't romantic enough. Maybe I had ignored the little things. I even texted her asking if we could try marriage counseling. She replied with one sentence, "It's too late." That was all I needed to hear. I stopped chasing her. I met with a divorce lawyer. Within a few days, the paperwork was ready. I signed everything. Then came the twist. About a week later, my wife walked through the front door, smiling. She wrapped her arms around me and said, "Okay, the experiment is over." I froze. She laughed and said her sister came up with the whole idea. Apparently, this fake divorce was supposed to be my wake-up call. They thought I'd show up crying with flowers, promising to change. Instead, I walked into my office, grabbed a folder, and handed it to her. She looked down. Real divorce papers, already filed. The smile vanished from her face. She kept saying, "Wait, you're serious?" I looked her in the eyes and said, "I believed you." Her sister rushed over later that evening, calling me heartless. She said I was supposed to fight for my marriage. I answered with one question. If my wife wanted to fix our marriage, why didn't she just talk to me instead of lying? Neither of them had an answer. Over the next few weeks, my wife begged for another chance. She apologized. She offered counseling. She promised she'd never play games again, but the damage was already done. If someone can fake ending a marriage just to test you, how do you ever trust them again? The divorce went through. The people who created the test ended up failing it themselves. If your spouse pretended to want a divorce just to teach you a lesson, would you forgive them? Or would you sign the papers too? Tell me what you'd do in the comments.